All righty. Thank you, Mandy, so much for being a part of Envision Your Vision interview. I
Thank you for
created
having
this
me.
last year because I have an affinity to this conversation about vision. Like, I love the topic of vision, and not so much just love the topic, but I really feel like I'm passionate about understanding what is vision and the fact that everyone should have one for their life. So when I was able to see a lot of people who took things that they've envisioned or they saw or God has shown them and they brought it into fruition, it makes me excited to talk to people about it because I want to know what that looked like. And then also to be able to inspire others who might be going through the process of just envisioning. Right now, it's just an idea or it's just a concept. But what can I do now to take it out of that stage to now create a real vision and execute it? So that's why I created Envision Your Vision interviews, because I want people to get to talk to or hear from creatives, creators, founders, CEOs, and just hear their stories. So, for those who do not know who you are, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, my name is Maslin Frederick, but I go by the name of Mandy Fresh Johnson.
Mhm.
I'm a hairstylist, a makeup artist, an author. I'm a
Mm.
minister, soon to be mother. I'm a
Woo!
founder founder of Discover the Beauty Women Empowerment Organization. What we do is basically empower women to pursue their purpose with passion through their God-given talent and skills. Not only that, I'm also pursuing another endeavor. So stay tuned. My skincare line and makeup with lipstick line is going to be out this year. So I'm working on a lot of different projects and just excited about what God is doing.
Wow. Okay, so there's a lot that comes with your name, and I think that's beautiful that you don't just sit on any gift that God gives you. You go ahead and you go after it. So go ahead now. All right. So I wanted to ask, for some people who may not know, where exactly are you from?
Well, I'm from Fort Lauderdale, Florida,
Woohoo.
but I am of Haitian descent.
Let's go now. Let them know. Is there anyone in particular that you look up to that has kind of helped bring you to this point, or it could be changing over time?
Well, that is a good question. That is a very good question. I have a plethora of people that I've looked up to over time. Um, I can mention a couple of, especially people in the church. I've looked up to Prophetess Cynthia Thompson,
Mhm.
Apostle Regina Martin,
Wow.
Apostle Sierra Lasan Jones, just a lot of different women in various seasons of my life that poured
Yeah.
into me. Not only that, different women in the industry that's doing what I'm doing or even better.
Yeah.
So they were an inspiration, right? Some may not have been close mentors, but they were inspirational mentors. There is such thing as a inspirational mentor. You can see
Mhm.
somebody that's either doing something in the sphere that you desire to go, and they inspire you because you see the different avenues and different spheres that they're giving birth to. So I had a plethora of women that played a role in my life. Pastor Angela, just trying to name a few.
It's okay. It's the baby. It's the baby. All these names.
Girl, I'm not gonna lie to you. This baby brain ain't no joke. I'm just trying to name a few. Not only that, um, from things that I've went through in the past has inspired me to do what I do. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go through different things in life, and when you get a lot of setback, whether it's people telling you that you can't do it or people looking at you that either you're not qualified for what you're trying to pursue. But one thing about it is it has always been me and God from the beginning.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. Having a relationship with God is number one. Okay.
Yeah.
That is your first inspiration to producing or birthing anything in this earth realm, which is having a relationship with Him.
Yeah.
Every gift, every talent, it comes from above, right?
Yeah.
So if we're looking for cultivation, we're looking for an opportunity to birth out our vision. Having that relationship with God is going to be key to your success, is going to be key to your next move in life. And that's what I had to cultivate. When nobody at the time was pouring into me or really pushing me, I had to cultivate that relationship with God. God was pouring into me saying, I've called you to be a leader. I've called you to inspire others.
Mhm.
I've called you to have a women ministry. A lot of times, sometimes because when you go through different changes and challenges and toxic environment, you feel that you're either inadequate or that you don't qualify to walk in these things. And
Yeah.
for a period of time, God affirmed me. That doesn't mean I was obedient right away because I was still So
Come on. That's all of us.
exactly. But when you get tired of being in the same position for a long time, you're gonna step out on faith. And God had to build a muscle in me called, whether you support me or not, Mandy's gonna do this thing. That's the muscle he had to build in me. And over time, it paid off, because before I started the Women Empowerment Organization, it first started off with a makeup workshop. Esther, you remember, because I believe you was
And I
there.
was just about to ask you that question. I was like, all right, you do so much. So where did it start from? Like, because you have so many branches. So what do you think was the first vision that you had that brought you to this point where you have multiple ideas and visions and things that you're doing today?
Well, to be honest with you, I didn't know that I was called to the beauty industry, but this was thrown on my lap since a little girl. I'm gonna be honest, it started with my auntie.
Mhm.
It started with my auntie. Jesus. Her name is Shalini. She had a beauty salon up on Sunrise.
Yeah.
And I used to always go up under her, help her. You know, when she would do the customers, she'll tell me put the base on their head, help put the perm on their head, go wash her hair. You know, I was 13, 12 at the time. You know, I got $30 every Saturday. But you know what? It started from there. And I can't take credit for it, to say that it just came out of nowhere, but that mantle was passed on me through my auntie, because my auntie is the only one in my family that is in the beauty industry. So
Mhm.
when I went up under her, I believe it was a God divine moment. But at the time when you're a child, you don't understand how God is setting you up, right? So I started there, left it alone. I
Yeah.
tried other things, it just never worked. I always found myself coming back to either doing somebody hair or doing somebody makeup. I tried corporate America, that ain't worked too long. I went from this job to that job to this job. But one thing I do understand, when God has ordained a particular path for your life, if you veer off, it's not going to work, because there's a particular path that
Mhm.
God has ordained for your life. And I like to tell people this, you know, at my husband's church when I'm ministering, everybody's life has a scroll.
Yeah.
All of us have a scroll that was written. There's a volume of books that was written concerning our life, and it is
Huh.
up to you to discover what God has put already in the volume of your book. And the reason why some people may not be prospering is because they have not tapped into what was already written in their volume.
Come on,
So
you
they're trying
preaching.
not working, they're trying that, is not working, they're trying to go this way, is not working. Could it be that you're not in the vein where God has originally intended you to be? So girl, if I could, I can't count with how many fingers and feet of how many times I got fired working a 9 to 5
Wait,
job, because
you said something so good about, the scroll. And just thinking about everything you just said about making sure that we go out and do it, because if God already has ordained it for us to do it, it's gonna happen. So that's
yeah,
why a lot of the things didn't work out, because it was trying to push you back to where you needed to be. So
yes.
then I have a question, like when it comes to all that you just said, what do you think vision like mean to you? What would you say is the definition in your own words, of course?
Well, vision is basically being able to see the unseen,
Hmm.
right? My friend, I just took a master class with my friend, a good friend of mine, Eugene Hope, and a lot of us have suppressed the vein of imagination.
Wow.
Imagination is a gift, to be able to imagine and see yourself in places that you have not even tapped into. Vision starts from there. Remember the scripture in Habakkuk 2, how God say, write the vision and make it plain.
Yep.
There's a lot of times, we can see ourselves somewhere, write it down and make it plain. Vision is the avenue that gives you the opportunity to give birth to things that you didn't even think you'll be able to give birth to. Vision is being able to see yourself in positions and realm and spheres that you didn't even think you can reach. But the fact that you can envision it and imagine you there, it can be done. If you can see it, then
Yep.
it can be done. Because let me tell you something. We were created in the image of God.
Yep.
We were created in his likeness. And because everything that God created, he spoke it into being. That means there was a vision, come on, that was already established for the earth, but God had to speak it into being, and then it was so. A lot of times, the reason why some of us are not able to tap into vision is because we're not tapping into our recreated spirit. You need to
Wow.
tap into the Holy Spirit, your recreated spirit. Come on, God is a God of creativity. If we were created in his image and in his likeness, guess what? Creativity live on the inside of you as well.
Woo.
If you can see it, then you can become it.
You just
If you
you
can
just broke
imagine,
something off some people.
if you can imagine
Come
it, you can
on.
become it. Why can you not do it?
Yes.
Right? And a lot of times, the reason why some of us are not obtaining certain goals and certain spirits because we're either scared, we're allowing fear to grip us, we're allowing our circumstances on where we are today to hinder us from what God is calling us to do. The difference between somebody who believes in God and somebody who's an atheist is they dare to step out, whether they got people supporting them or not, whether they got no money or not, they're going to take a chance.
Yeah.
Because the Bible, when you read the book of Ecclesiastics, the whole purpose of that book is talking about that time and chance happen to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It happens to everyone, whether you're a believer or you're not. You got time, and then you have a chance. Are you going to take a chance on yourself? Are you going to take a chance on the vision that God has given you? Everybody has a specific task, assignment, vision that he has given to them. But because of our finite mind, because we don't see ourselves the way God sees us, it inhibits us not to step into the place that God is calling us to.
Yeah.
Do you know how long I was worked out a makeup line, skincare line, but because I didn't feel that I was qualified or able to do it.
I want to go back. I want to go back for 1 second because you said something very powerful. You said multiple things that was powerful. First of all, I do believe that God has given us the ability to create. So if he can envision things and make it so, we can do the same exact thing. And one thing that you said when you were talking before, giving me the definition of vision, you said that you had a lot of doors slammed in your face. You lost how many jobs you don't even know, and it kept leading you back to your vision. And I kind of want you to talk a little bit about the failures. Now, I don't even want to say failures, but the things that come along with wanting your vision, because I don't want people to listen to this and think that it's going to be easy. I want them to understand that there's a fight for it. And what are some things that you had to deal with to push past some of the issues that came about with, failing or difficulties and things like that?
Well, first, I'm kind of like the monkey wrench in it. There's no such thing as failure if you're trying and to walk it out. You only fail when you don't do it.
Come on.
You fail when you don't step out. You fail when you don't manifest what God is calling you to manifest in this earth. That's when you fail. And I think it's a notion that people say, "Oh, this vision failed." No, you succeeded. The fact that you was bold enough to step out, to me, that is a success. Now there is a such thing as strategizing to make sure what we did before, if it didn't work this time, then we re-strategize, we rebrand so we can do it better the next time. When I first started to launch into the deep with the women conference, I first started off as a makeup workshop. Okay. I was sitting in my church at that season. I'm just like, okay, Lord, what is it that you want me to do? I know I'm called to do more than just singing. And at that time, my pastor at the time was talking about, you need to dream again. You need to walk into your destiny. You need to open up your mind to receive. So I was in the church and literally, boom, vision just came right before me. God just brought it before me, and I just saw makeup workshop. I said, okay, God. I said, okay, makeup workshop. Then we gonna makeup workshop. We're gonna start off like this. But the thing about God, he is so funny. He never shows you the whole picture. He shows you a picture for where you are, because that's what you can handle at the time. Okay, so it started off with that. I was sitting down. He gave me the vision, so I started off with the makeup workshop. I invited a lot of people. It said 150 people was coming, but guess what? The day of the event, only 25 people showed up. Only 25 people showed up.
And
all that workshop, me being Mandy, I'm a numbers girl, okay? I got a master's in business. It's all about numbers for me. And my husband tried to help me balance that. If I don't see the numbers, it don't make sense to me. So it's all about numbers. That thing said 150 coming. I said, "Whoa, Jesus, about to be a packed out event." Whoa, girl, when only 25 showed up, guess what? I had to do the event at quality level as if 150 people were showing up. I could not get upset. I walked out there. I said, God, it don't even matter. We're going to get this thing started. We had fun. Okay. People were touched. People was like, wow, this event, the atmosphere, how God moved in the atmosphere. It was such a culture of togetherness. Okay, sister, I got your back. It was just a culture was created. And I'm like, okay, God. I was able to birth it out. And, people that I thought that would have supported me did not support me. People that I thought that would have been there, that said they were coming, they did not come on. They did not hold their word. Now, I could have got disappointed because the enemy almost tricked me, right? Because let me tell you something. there's a saying that Rome is not built in a day. There's nothing that you start
Hmm.
when it comes to vision. It's
Yep.
not going to be explosive in one day. You go from glory to glory. Come on. You
Yeah.
go from level to level, dimensions to dimensions. So when that kicked off, it kind of made me a little bit disappointed for the people that said they were coming that didn't come. But you know what? It's around these times that God begins to fortify you,
Yeah.
build character. Come on, build you up as a person. Because at the end of the day, whether somebody come with you or not, are you still going to produce?
Yeah. I
Are
agree.
you still going to give birth?
Yeah. Because we can't
So,
we can't fall into this idea that everything's going to work out the moment you do it. And I think
mhm,
sometimes that is the issue that some people may have when they have a vision. They believe the moment they step out on faith and they do it, it should look exactly like they've envisioned it immediately after pushing out what it was that they have imagined. But the reality is that there is work that needs to be done. There is a striding that has to happen in order for them to get to where it is that they need to be. And that's why I like the idea of vision, because it's strategic. It's very specific. And every single thing that you do, like you said, you're a numbers person and you have strategy. So you can't just take it for what it is today. You got to take everything, you got to do analysis, you got to be like, hey, what did not work for me? And how can I get to where I'm going? Because this is not the end. This is not what is the storyline. This is just one part of it. And I love that you did not let that stop you to the point where you still delivered as if 125 people were there.
mhm,
And I think we have
yes,
to have that type of workmanship, that no matter if I get the 100,000 or if I have the one client, will I still treat my business? Will I treat what it is that God has called me, my vision? Even though I don't see the amount that I should have, can I still treat it the way that it should be for the place that it's going? So I really do like that
exactly.
story. I was thinking, I mean, there's this question I want to ask, and I've asked a lot of people in my last interviews, is that in Proverbs, it states that a man's gift makes room for them. Do you believe the many gifts, because you already done told me you got a lot of gifts, do you believe that all your gifts have made room for you? And do you have any examples of situations like that?
Okay, so there's like a tripod when it comes to gifts. So there's like a three-fourth way you can look at it. Your
Yeah.
gift can be your talent, the skills that you obtain that can make room for you. You having a lot of money that can make room for you. You having a lot of influence that can make room for you. Now, some of us starts off with the gift. You got people who's born into inheritance who got the money, who has the influence, and that has already made room for them. Everybody may not be born in these type of spirits, but if you're on the other part where you have your gifts and your talent,
Yeah.
you have to utilize it, right? God has given us time, He has given us treasures, He's given us talents, skills, and ability. And the only way the room can be made for you is if you show it. You
Yeah.
can't sit on the talent or your gift and expect room to be made when you're not doing nothing for it, right? That reminds me of the story when God talked about the men with the talent. You had one that had five, some that had four, the other one
Yeah.
had two, one had one, and the one that had the one, he buried it because I believe he buried it because he was envious. He didn't
Mhm.
feel like he was not grateful for what he had.
Yeah.
Okay, he was too busy looking at the one that had the five, and not working on the one that he had. He buried it and hid it. And a lot of people tend to do that. You're looking at other people like, wow, they're flowing in this. They got this going
Yeah.
on, that going on, but look at little old me. What about you? What about that one talent that he has given you? Work that one talent until it grows. Let me tell you something. One talent, one product, one service can produce lines and streams of other products. And people fail to realize some people don't just start off with five. They took that one idea. And from that one idea, you got about 10 legs that spring out of that one idea.
Yeah.
God gave me a makeup workshop to do. From the makeup workshop, the woman organization got birthed. Okay, not only the organization got birthed, I have a salon that's about to be attached to that organization. There's many legs that can come from one idea.
Yeah.
Now he's giving you that one idea. You need to work that one idea, and then God will begin to add. He'll begin to multiply. You
Hmm.
get what I'm saying? He'll begin to
Yeah.
multiply, and then he'll make room for you.
And I want some people to kind of hear your story when it came to your one and how you got your many. And I know it's a lot, but can you kind of walk us through? Like, you started with your aunt, you started with beauty, you didn't even know if you was going to do it, but you kept falling back to that. So what got you there? Because now you're also you're also preaching, you're also a first lady, you're also a prophet. It's like now you went from these natural gifts and now you're also working spiritual ones too. So can you kind of walk me through all these avenues and doors that started opening for you to kind of flourish the way you have?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you something that God showed me, right? Some people, because we're talking about your gifts making room for you.
Yeah.
It was a word that God gave me about a year or two ago. He said, your talents have to go before you. And I didn't understand what he was talking about. He told me my talent and my talent, I'm not talking about spiritual gifts or the aspect of me preaching or prophesying or whatever the case may be. I'm talking about my natural gifts, being a hairstylist, a makeup artist, not only that, a gospel singer. I'm going from one spirit to the next. And sometimes it can get confusing because you're tapping into all these places like, okay, God, am I a singer? Okay, God, am I a makeup artist? No, I'm everything. And
Wow.
people try to separate those entities and say, okay, no. God had to tell me, he said, you're everything. The singing doesn't define you. Mandy Fresh is Mandy Fresh, and everything that is tied to her is in line with who she is. You're everything that God had, everything that the talent that God has placed in you. So God had to allow my skills to go before me first, before the ministry part. And you got some people, ministry precedes them first, and then they tap into the business and then the marketplace. Me, because I'm a businesswoman, the marketplace was the first avenue that God allowed me to go forth in, and then the spiritual part came forth. And that's just how he had it. I'm everything that I've acquired, everything that I've been, whether either one season in my life I was makeup, one season I'm doing hair, one season I'm singing, one season I'm over here, there, all of these components make who Mandy is.
Wow.
I'm not just a makeup artist. I'm not just a hairstylist. No, all of them come together to make who Mandy is. And some of us need to stop separating ourselves and we're putting ourselves everywhere. No. Every skill, every gift, every talent that you have makes up of who you are. Okay. Remember, I said there's a scroll, there's a volume. In your volume, you may have 30 talents and 30 gifts. That doesn't mean one gift is who you are. You are all of them.
Yeah.
You are all. Remember, Paul said, I became all things to all men so I can win some. At a season I'm doing hair because there was somebody that needed me, that needed a word. Or whether it was me doing makeup, a client needed me or they needed a word. Whether it's me singing at the time in that season and God needed me to reach certain people, they needed a word. I became all things to all men so that I can reach. Because at the end of the day, the purpose of why you've been given gifts and talent is so that you can win them back to Christ. Everybody may not be called to the pulpit, but your pulpit can be your business. Your pulpit could be, whether it's in corporate America, and God used you as a prophetic mantle to turn a company around, and he's gifted you to do that. Be okay with that, because that's where he has you for a season. Or whether it's in the beauty industry, he'll call you to turn that industry upside down and put a word in your mouth to reach people that are unreachable, that the church can't reach. God,
I love that.
So picture all your gifts. God allow you to become all the gifts so you can win some. Because at the end of the day, your gift and your talent is supposed to turn the heart of those that turn from God back to the Father. That's why God needs you to walk in your vision. He needs you to walk that vision out, because through your vision, you're going to be able to reach people who may not ever step foot in the church, but because they're your clientele, you become their pastor in your business and you begin to shepherd them back to God. And eventually they'll go to a church like, man, I came into Esther and I had a consultation with her, and all of a sudden God put a word in her mouth for my life, and man, I want to get reconnected back to God. And people fail to realize that God will use you in your industry to pastor people back to him. Whether you have a title of a pastor or not, your pulpit starts within whatever area that God has called you to walk into mandate. And I want everybody to know all your gifts, all your talents make up who you are. So at the end of the day, when people ask me who I am, I'm not just a makeup artist. I'm a son of God. Okay, when I say son, that is genderless. So when people hear son, I don't want you to get confused like I'm saying I'm a man. But remember, in the Bible says there's neither male nor female. The difference between me and my husband is I have a womb man. Okay, that's the only difference. My husband is a man. I'm a womb man because I have a womb. I can carry and give birth. Praise the Lord. So at the end of the day, Jesus said he gave gifts unto men.
Yeah.
His spirit qualified us to become sons. That's what it says in the book of Ephesians. That's what it says in his word. We've been qualified to become a son. I'm a son of God.
And
okay.
There's something
That's what I am first.
There's something I wanted to add to that, because you gave us some good points about our gifts, our talents, our skills, and how all of it creates the identity who we are. But the first identity that we have is in Christ. And one thing that I want people to understand and highlight in everything that you said is that there's an overall purpose for who Mandy is. There's an overall purpose for all of us. And God has given us purpose in order to do something here for a purpose, which is still within his will. So when we talk about vision is almost like a preview of that purpose. It's a seeing before becoming. It's a seeing before doing. So now when Mandy saw herself doing certain things, even though they were different from one another, they still came full circle to the purpose that she has to bring, because everything that we do when it comes to our purpose and the mission that God put us here, it has to affect others. And it is not about what I get out of it. It's about how it affects others. Because we're not going to, God is not putting us here on earth to just be here, just taking up land and taking up space. It is here to offer a service. It's here to offer a solution. So right now, I love that you said that you're all of those things. And I know that there's this misconception that, well, you are, you do many things, so that means you're master of none. How did they say that again? It's like
they say you do many things, but listen.
Yeah, it's like so some people might feel like, well, you can't be doing all that stuff because you need to narrow down who you are. You need to narrow down your services. But sometimes God might be calling you to be all these things. And that's nothing wrong, because you have many gifts. So I love that you are one person that I can say can talk about this, because not everybody has that that gift to be doing many things.
So can I give you an analogy? I'm gonna give you two analogies, but this is the first analogy because it just came to me. I want to give you an analogy of a tree. Okay, you see the tree that is standing. Okay, you see the tree has leaves, it has branches. When you go beneath the tree, because we're like a tree, right? We're like a tree planted by the rivers of water. Okay, our roots go deep, right? Because we're able to draw. This is how we produce, because we're able to draw out of the wellspring of God. I want you to picture a tree, right? Beneath the tree, do you notice how the roots, you got roots going from every direction? Okay, you got roots going east, you got roots going west, you got the roots going north, you have the roots going south. But at the end of the day, all the roots come together and it compounds together. By the time you look up, it's one tree. Okay, so the analogy of the roots is many gifts and talents that makes up that one tree. Okay, whether it's but I'm trying to paint. I hope you see what I see. Okay,
I got it. That makes so much
sense.
You got
many roots to the tree. And these roots draw from each direction. It draws from many directions, but it makes up that one tree. Okay? Each root supply to that tree so that tree can stand. One season you could be doing interviews. The next season you're doing a TV show. The next season you're traveling. The next season you're speaking. All of these things make up who Esther is. That doesn't mean Esther is just a speaker. That doesn't mean Esther is just a person that do interview.
Right.
There is more to Esther. These components just add to who you are.
And I want to say this because my husband says this to me all the time. He says, who you are equals what you do equals who you are. What you do equals who you are. So I like what you're saying, because everything that I do and all the things that make up me will be the identity of who I am. So just like before the show started, you are a mother, you are a makeup artist, you do hair, you do so these are all the things you do. And on top of that, some of them they're all rooted into you, and it becomes who you are. So that's why there's some people who could be listening to this and they're like, well, I don't have a vision, God just told me I'm supposed to be doing this. But everything that you do, no matter if it looks so small, like if you're just working at your job, he says, do it as if it is unto me. So everything you do, you can do it really well, even if it feels like it means absolutely nothing. Even the person who's taking out the trash, he has reason, he has a vision, and he has purpose. So all of these things that they do, it does not mean that that's his whole identity. And I love your analogy. those things that are rooted in us does not mean it's our full identity. It just means it makes up who I am, you know?
Exactly. That's why I said that's why I said in the beginning. Well, I didn't say in the beginning, I kind of said in the middle of the interview.
One of the times.
That I'm a son of God. Okay. With me being a son, because it says that as Jesus ascended, he descended, he gave gifts unto men. Gifts, not gifts. Gifts. That means it's multifaceted, multiplicity. Okay. I'm a child of God first. I'm a daughter of Zion first. Because at the end of the day, everything that makes humanity is glorifies the Father. Okay. We're all living beings. We're all created in his images, likeness. We're lights. Okay. When people look at you, Esther, you are a light. People are attracted. Like, man, there's something about Esther. Like, I just have to get close. Just something about her. There's just something about Esther that just draws me to her. You are a light magnet. So when people come to you and ask you, how do you do what you do? Guess what? At the end of the day, the glory is going to go back to the Father. Right. He created us to magnetize. He created us to be amplified in the earth. We're lights. We're a city on a hill. People should be able to look at us and see a difference. They should be able to look at us and say, man, what is different about this person? A lot of people don't know right now. I got a cosmetology degree, but right now I'm a skin instructor right now. That's what Mandy's doing right now. I instruct an esthetician in the skincare at a preschool.
You do it.
Do you hear what I'm saying? One avenue opened doors to so many others. So don't let nobody tell you, oh, you just going to just do this one thing and that's it. No, that one seed. Okay, like when we take an analogy, because I feel like I'm talking too much, but I'm going to say this one last thing and I'm going to let you do your thing. When we take an analogy of the mustard seed, right? Where the Bible gives you an analogy, have faith as a mustard seed. It's not supposed to remain a mustard seed. He said, have faith like one, because when the mustard seed go into the ground, have you seen a mustard seed tree? Have you seen how huge it is? He said, have faith like one, but he never tell you to remain as a mustard seed. You're supposed to go from glory to glory, because faith is a frequency. Okay. Wow. That is a dimension that we should live in. So when God tell you to step out and do your vision, guess what? The Father told me to step out, and I'm going to step out. Everything that I need is already on the inside of me. And it's just waiting for me to tap in. It's just waiting for me.
I hope you just inspired somebody, because you even inspired me, because it is so powerful. I know we're in the word a little bit more, but I think it's important for people to realize that vision comes from God. Yeah, you can have certain ideas and dreams for yourself, and that's beautiful. That's great. God put that on the inside of you. But first, we have to identify the Creator, and the Creator has given us these abilities and these longings for certain things. And I think it's beautiful that you already identify that. And there's wisdom in what you're saying to realize that we do need to have faith like a mustard seed, but not stay there. So anybody who's watching this and they just feel like, well, I can't get past the mustard seed. I can't get past it. And it's just like, no, like you have to realize that you're planting. Everything that we're doing, we're planting and we're watering. Some people are still in the watering stage. Some people are already harvesting, but we're at different stages. So we can't compare ourselves to other people, because we are at different points, and different seeds grow differently. And it depends on the environment. It depends on what you watered it with. It depends on how many sunlight you got. You have to realize that you are watering these gifts, and you have to give it time to grow. Go ahead.
Because you said faith, but I'm reminded of the scripture that says faith comes by hearing. It comes by hearing, and hearing the word of God. Whether a person is a believer or not, it says faith comes by hearing. What are you hearing about yourself and about your vision? What are you speaking to yourself, about your vision? It comes by hearing. If you ain't stepping out, that means you're not hearing it enough. Faith comes by hearing. What am I hearing? What am I allowing to go into my hearing? What am I allowing to go into my mind? Because at the end of the day, if you don't believe in it, people can see it. People can tell by the quality of what you do behind your work if you really believe in what you say you believe in. It's based on the quality of how you're bringing it. How's your presentation? Again, faith come by hearing. If God said, I call you to go move this mountain, okay, I'm gonna move this mountain in Jesus' name. I am a mountain mover. I am that I am, because if I was created in an image of my Father, just like he told Moses, who do you want me to tell the people that sent me? He said, I am that I am. Guess what? I am a mountain mover. If my Father is who he say he is, guess what? I am who he said that I am. I am that I am.
All right. I really do. I like what you just said. I like the fact that at the end of the day, what we're trying to push people to realize, I hope y'all get it, is that whatever God has called you to be, you are that thing. It already resides in you. Now, you may
Yes.
not have all the tools right at the beginning, but it doesn't
Mhm.
mean you don't have the first necessary tool to start it.
Exactly.
So I'm so excited about everything that you're saying because it got me off my notes. It got me off my notes, but for a good reason. For a good reason, because whoever's watching this, I want them to feel inspired. I want them to be pushed and realize that, we all go through it. We all have gone through it and we're
Yes.
in it. But at the end of the day, you are still doing everything. You want to make sure that before leaving this earth, you are empty. Every idea, every
Yes.
dream, everything that you envision is out. So I agree with you. What is it that you're hearing, guys? What have you heard about yourself? What have you
Mhm.
said to yourself? What is it that people are saying to you about your vision? Now, I don't believe you got to tell everybody your vision, but if you feel that you want to tell people, you got to be strong enough to be like, I'm still going to do it no matter what they tell me.
Mhm.
If they say negative stuff, it's okay.
I would tell people it's better they get, I mean, unless you know the person has your heart, I would not tell you to tell everybody, but you'll
Right.
know who has your heart based on when you say something. If they always have something negative to say when you tell them, that is not the person you need to be sharing
Yeah,
anything with. Okay.
I
So
agree.
just to put that caveat out there.
Yeah, so be mindful. Be mindful. So then I have another question. I have two. Hopefully I can get through two. Um, do you believe you're seeing everything that God has shown you concerning your vision and purpose? Because
God shows
we
things
know
in parts.
you see it in parts.
You see in parts. God, as you, okay, listen, like I said, I believe I said this in the beginning. If God showed you everything, it probably would freak you out. And you
Mm-hmm.
probably would say, God, that's beyond me. I'm not doing it. He has to show you in part. Okay, if I said, okay, the first thing I want you to do, Esther, I want you to start off for the interview. And now this is what you're doing. Now all of a sudden he's about to switch it up on you. Now it's gonna go from an interview to about to be a TV show. Okay, God, because I don't already got in the vein of doing my interviews. Okay, I can do the TV show. Now all of a sudden it goes from a TV show. Now it's gonna be a live audience. Okay, God, I can do it because my feet started to get wet. God can't show us everything at one time because of where you may be at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
He know if he do that, you gonna tell God, "No, I'm good. I'm straight. I ain't doing that. I'm gonna do that. Is that even possible? How am I gonna do that? That's
I
what you
would have
gonna
said
tell God."
I would have
So
said that. I would have said, you know what, I'm good. I don't want to see all that. But the reason why I said for you, because you have a lot that you're doing. So of course it's you're realizing that it has come together, it's working itself out. So that's why I was asking, do you believe that you're seeing what God has and
well,
showcased to you little by little?
every move, every move that I've made in my life, He showed it to me first. Like my
Mm.
steps are ordered by God. I can't speak for everybody. Everything that I've done has been ordered by God. Okay, I can't take credit for it. God deal with everybody in a different way. For me, He has to show it to me. I'm a dreamer. I love to dream. I love to walk out. I like to execute goals. Okay. When I had to get my bachelor's, I told God I was finished with school. God said, okay, I'll let you chill for a little bit, 2 years, doing my thing. I'm working in the beauty industry, doing my thing. And then he come back 2 years later. I need you to go get your master's degree because it's for your organization. I said, God, what in the world? Because I told God I was done. I said, okay, I got my bachelor's, I'm done. This was a goal that I wanted to do. I was able to break the bar because, I'm a first generation of graduate. My sisters, all of us are first generation of graduate. Our parents didn't graduate or go to college or anything for that matter. But the fact that I was able to obtain a bachelor's, I said, okay, God, I did something. I broke the bar. God said, no, you're going to break it even more. And I need you to go to get your master's. Had he would have told me that while I was getting my associate, I would have told God no.
No,
But
you're right.
I would have told God no, but he waits till you're ready. Well, let me not say he would. That's a lie.
No. He
You will
don't wait
never,
till you're ready,
you
but
will
he
never
knows
be
how to work it
fully
out
ready. But
because of
he
your
will wait till you're
response.
open to receive. Let me just say that.
Mm-hmm.
When you're open to receive, then he'll be able to tell it to you because you'll receive it and you'll execute it. When he told me, I need you to go get your master's degree, I'm like, okay, God, I'll go get it. And the funny thing about it is, the same year that I started school in January, that's when I met my husband.
Yeah.
Okay, things just started happening. And I graduated last year, 2020
Now
last year.
imagine if you ain't go get your master's.
Exactly. I had to be obedient to God. I had to.
You said something that just reminded me. God allow you to reach a milestone in order for you to have faith that you can reach another. Because
exactly.
if he told you to get your master's while you still get your bachelor's, you would have been like, I don't even have a bachelor's. I can't even get past these classes. So you would have looked at you would look at yourself and say, I can't do this. So it was like, all right, I'm gonna show you that you can do it. Because that's what happened to me. I was ready to be done with grad school. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Do you know how old I was when I stepped foot in a college to get my associate?
How old?
I was 27.
There's some people who's not even that age.
I was 27, and it was a turning point for my life. I kept giving all these excuses. No, I can't do it. No, I'm not qualified to do it. No, I don't feel like I'm going to succeed. And a lot of people, the reason why they don't step out is because of fear of failure.
Yeah.
And that's the worst crippling thing. Fear is a demonic spirit that has crippled so many people from walking into their God-given destiny because they feel they can't do it. Okay. So I had to get over fear. And even when I told God I didn't want to go to school after I got my bachelor's because of fear, I didn't think I can obtain a master's until one day my pastor at the time told me, why don't you go sign up for Nova? Nova now, come on, that school is kind of, well, based on reputation, everybody can't just get into Nova like that.
Yeah.
Okay, I said, you want me to sign up for Nova? I said, that's beyond me. I don't even think they're going to take me. But I went to go sign up. In my mind, the school felt bigger than me. I didn't feel like I was adequate enough to even step into an arena or an atmosphere like that. But as soon as I signed up and I passed that one class in my master's program, I said, okay, I can do it. The whole purpose is if you can just step out and just get your feet wet in what he has called you to do. Just step out and just allow him to show you that he is with you. Come on. And that you can obtain it. You gonna run.
Yeah.
I just needed to pass that one class. And child, when I passed that one class, you couldn't tell me nothing. Yeah, I'm in the master's program, about to get my degree, about to graduate. So the whole key is stepping out. I just had to step out. And when I stepped out in the atmosphere, it was no longer bigger than me. I became one with that dimension. Do you hear what I'm saying? I became one with it. It was no longer outside of me or bigger than me. I grew into that atmosphere.
Right.
And I was able to walk into it and dominate it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I understand. And I remember one day I said this before in a little video on my IG. I said that there are times we may look and be like, did I do that? Like you looking back, like, I did that? Because I was so afraid before. I was so uneasy about the idea of me trying this new thing. And then I did it. I accomplished it. It's done with. And I get to look back and say, I did that. And that's exactly what you did. And I think that is so great that, like you said, you became one with your environment. Your environment was no longer towering over you. You now believe that you was a master student. You knew that saying, oh yeah, my name is Mandy. I'm getting my master's degree. It was no longer, oh, I'm trying. You know, I'm doing a little thing. You talk different. You talk different when you start to walk in what God has given you.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I kind of want to close with that, but I just want to make one statement that I really did enjoy hearing your story and just hearing just how much wisdom you have when it comes to the idea of vision. And that tells me that you understand how important vision is, because you even said it, your steps are ordered. And everything you did, you saw it first. And I think I want people to walk away with that, like praying for God to open up their eyes to see things that they didn't see before. It's the ability to see farther than your eyes can see. You know, I can see myself right now in this little camera, but vision is going beyond that, you know? And I love that you are a clear example of someone who's deeply rooted and have allowed many things, skills, passions, talents to build who you are, and then also still make up that vision that God has for you. And
let's say this one thing, because it came to my spirit. I just have to say this one thing. I know you want to close. Remember, I know you want to close. Remember in the beginning.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to make sure this Zoom don't close out on me.
Remember in the beginning of the in the beginning when we were trying to come in, you're like, man, Mandy, it's pixelated. It just looks like it's blurry. Your vision may start off pixelated, but then it comes together and you'll see the clear picture. but you have to just step out. It just came in my spirit. I just had to release it. Your vision will start off pixelated where you can't see the clear picture yet. But the minute you begin to walk that thing out, the picture becomes clear. But you just have to step out. I just had to say that.
No,
Go ahead, girl.
Let the Holy Spirit lead you, girl. And I wish we could talk longer. I really do. Like, this was really good. Thank you so much. First of all, thank you so much. Like, I really enjoyed this.
I am Mandy Fresh Johnson. I envision my vision.
Ooh, you did, girl.